Hi.
Hi.
Yay, technology.
Technology. It is so funny. I think, right in the heart of a conversation, just when things are getting really juicy, this happens every time.
So sorry. I don't know if that was my internet, but I'm sorry.
Doesn't matter. I'm sure something somewhere, but here we are. Here we are. So thank you.
We're back.
We're back. And so, just to recap for those that are just joining us, and tell me how my recap if I've really understood the situation. So I'm here today with Alyssa Catzman, who is one of the co-owners of Social Circle, a parent coaching group here in Toronto. And we're chatting about the transition that children will experience, grown-ups too, but that's a chat for another time, that children will experience as they go from sheltering in place to actually being in a larger social group context, right? Be it an organized sport, a camp scenario. And we started by talking about, there may be kids who are so excited to go, and then there may be kids who are tremendously apprehensive. And interestingly enough, you were suggesting similar approaches in both situations. So maybe we can just sum up the approaches that you chatted about.
Sure. I was saying that for almost all of these situations, the same two strategies would be helpful at foundation. The first one is bringing up the topic of feeling in very gentle, playful, curious ways of how we might be feeling different things and double dip feelings, and one feeling doesn't negate the other feeling, and validating those feelings. And the second is role playing and practicing how to navigate these situations, whether or not the child is nervous, but might be suddenly managing situations that they haven't done in several months. So practicing and role playing difficult social, emotional scenarios that they might be in to prepare for this really big transition. Mm-hmm. And I think you were just starting to talk about the kids who are apprehensive, partially about the separation, and having a goodbye ritual, having something for them to look forward to at the place that they're going to. So what might be something you're really excited about? I totally understand you're nervous. I totally understand that the not so good feelings inside, but let's think of something that's really exciting that we're going to enjoy there. I remember as a kid circling in my calendar, this is going to be a special event day at camp, or this is a costume day. So I'm really excited for that piece. And what's something that we can look forward to at the end of the day? So reminding them that no matter what happens throughout the day, there will be comfort and co-regulation again, and we will be joining back together at the end of the day. I'm really looking forward to, at the end of the day, having a really fun water fight with you when you get home from camp or your program. I'm really excited to watching our show together. And you can do that every day as a routine of reminding them that no matter what happens at the end of the day, and no matter what struggle they're going to get at the end of the day, I'm so proud that you're doing this, and this is what we have to look forward to when we get back, to reconnect, to co-regulate.
Amazing. So that's sort of a third strategy. So it's the validation of feelings using a feelings chart, which can mean that they're pointing to several different feelings that they could be having at the same time. I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm confused. The role play in advance of situations. That way they have some ideas and sort of a dusting off of some skills that maybe they haven't practiced in a long time. And then that piece of looking forward to something after the separation, coming back home, coming back together, what's something we can look forward to. It sort of reminded me a little bit of when Dylan was first going to JK. For the first, really leaving home for a whole day for the first time. And I got a bunch of books, like The Invisible String, The Kissing Hand. And I think, these are nice rituals that we used, or images that we used at the time. And it feels in some way, because like you said, 15 months is a really long time for kids this age, that I might bring up those books again.
For sure. And I think it's really nice to have, I know that my children and I often have that sort of like kissing hand ritual, that there's a reminder that this is going to be a challenging day. These are things that you haven't done in a really long time. But I'm there for you as a co-regulator by, the kiss that you do before they leave for school or camp, or a special code word that you might have. Just a reminder that they're alone there, but you're also with them, in a loving, unconditional way from far away.
And you mentioned in a post recently that, it's going to be a different sensory experience, right? If you've been at home with your immediate family for the last 15 months and all of a sudden you're in a group context, a camp context, it's going to be louder, busier, hotter. So at the end of the day, we've often heard about, restraint collapse, that they wait for their safe person and then. So is there anything you would suggest in terms of that we tweak our routine at the end of the day, or anything you suggest we should anticipate or a different approach we should take, considering how their days will be so different?
Right. I think that for the people who are going to be with the kids at camp or programs, and the parents and caregivers after, I think that everybody needs to be very patient and aware of the behavioral implications, the social emotional impact of this sort of transition is no doubt going to impact the kids' behaviors positively, negatively. So I think that, we have to expect that what might look like aggression, what might look like trying to misbehave is like you say, just a way of communicating feelings or thoughts or restraint collapse. So lots, I think, of reminders for us as parents and caregivers. This isn't about, this isn't a personal attack. My kid is needing this outlet to release. My kid is, or my camper or my student is communicating something to me, and I need to be listening to what that is. So I think, practicing any type of mindfulness throughout the day and at the end of the day is really, really helpful. And that can be something as simple as noticing our surroundings. Can you just grounding? Like let's think together of 4 things that are blue in this room before we go and do our next activity. Coming back to the present, really noticing what's going on in our feelings and our sensations to become grounded and present again. Things I really love, deep breathing practices for kids in the moment and after the moment as a way of centering again. Some kids really benefit from some type of muscle relaxation. So even coming home from camp and before starting the next activity, just doing a really, really quick lie down and squeezing muscles and letting go, just to reground our thoughts and before we move forward, because like you say, there's going to be a lot that they're keeping together throughout the day.
Yeah, and that, like you say, that deep breathing, coming back to the moment, and also sort of resets our physiology and brings down that cortisol level for the next activity. Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's a lot to expect from them, and not to have those moments after so long. And I often think we sort of culture will say, we'll paint a child as, oh, that child has tantrums or meltdowns, or that child is aggressive. And so to be able to really this year more than ever give our children the benefit of the doubt.
For sure.
When they're at their worst is when they need us the most.
Exactly. What is my child communicating to me? And gosh, it is so hard. And you can be, I am very transparent with my children, because like we say, you could be feeling more than one thing at a time. I'm feeling so frustrated by the tantrum, but I'm also feeling compassion. You can be feeling both, and one doesn't negate the other. And that's sort of the word for my summer that I'm going to have is compassion for the children who are navigating an essentially new situation because they have not really entered the social world with COVID at this stage, and compassion for ourselves as caregivers, because we will get frustrated, and we're excited for the world to reopen. So in our heads, maybe, life is going to be great. We're going to have time, to figure out our own stuff and to be social. And I think that we just have to be really patient and compassionate with ourselves, because this is new, uncharted territory. And I think there has to be a huge element of self-care for us as parents, because and caregivers and counselors, because it's going to be exhausting physically and emotionally, to be there for the children. And, self-care looks different for everybody. And, I'm not talking necessarily about like going for a day at the spa, but having moments to yourself where you're able to ground yourself again, and take the breaths and remind yourself and give yourself that self-compassion. To me, I really equate self-care with self-compassion, and looking at it through the lens of, I am doing my best and my kid is doing their best, and what can I do for both of us to make this as optimal as possible.
Thank you so much, Alyssa. These are such wise words and really gave me some great ideas and tools to think about and use in the coming weeks.
Of course. Thank you so much for asking. And I think, I know this has sort of been the motto of the whole COVID pandemic, but we really are all in this together. And granted, some privileges make it, there's challenges that are for some people that are not for others, in terms of the privileges that make the challenges different. But in terms of having challenges, we're all sort of, we're all entering this new world of post-COVID, or half post-COVID, sort of in the same way of, we're doing this it's the first time in a long time, and we're facing those challenges together.
Yeah, I often think we were all in the same storm, but in different kinds of boats.
That's a great.
So we're landing on the shore, having had very different experiences as well, the last 15 months, and so the storm was there. We're in different boats. We're landing on the shore, and the way we're coming out of the storm might be a bit unique next to the person next to us. So how we respond to the next situation might be unique as well.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I love the way you said that. Exactly.
Thanks for your time. I'll chat with you soon.
Thanks so much, Maya. Great to see you.
Hey, you too.
Bye.
Bye.